Friends, I've got a question for you. If you could live with any TV sitcom family, which one would you live with? Answer right now.
Right now. You're on the spot. Clay especially.
Clay, you were brought here with your sitcom knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. He's the
My sitcom
historian.
knowledge is bad.
It doesn't have to be a biological family, correct? It can be
We'll
like...
get there. Okay, well, I'll give you guys a second to think about it.
Okay, I have an idea.
While I let you know, this is a friendly hypothetical show. Each week we dive into a new hypothetical question. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, find us on YouTube, all at A Friendly Hypothetical. Social media, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. You can email the show at afriendlyhypothetical@gmail.com. Sponsor an episode if you want. You can correct us on anything you get wrong, suggest episode topics. Get in touch with us however you want. With me this week, for the first time, Katie Parisi.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hello.
Hello. First time podcast guest. I'm honored.
Yeah. your first podcast ever?
My first podcast ever.
Wow.
Long time listener. First time speaker.
Been listening for days.
For days.
Clay Doran coming back from another. Angie was on last week.
Episode.
Another one of the original Lost pilot.
This will definitely come out before that. Nice to meet you.
Well, if you do what you did last time, it won't come out again.
Well,
also.
Yeah, it's a threat.
And all the racial slurs were
No.
the reason
I'm going to keep my clothes on.
that part was fine.
Okay.
And Colin Parson. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Thank you for bringing me back.
Yeah. You see, you're not on probation like Clay.
No,
you did
Watching
fine
him.
last time.
Yeah.
People have seen you. They saw you. They loved you.
The
They
people
will not
love
shut
that
up
you
about
only wanted to talk about ranch.
All my ranchers were.
It's probably been the thing that's gotten the most engagement and comments of any episode is people being like, "This guy fucking loves ranch."
Just happy to spread the message.
Spreading the good word about ranch.
Have you heard the good news? In the Hidden Valley.
Yeah.
All right. TV sitcoms. So I think there's a lot of different ways that you could approach this. So I'm going to give some more specific parameters as to what we're talking about here. You are not going to become the biological child of any of these families. Imagine you are, we'll say, 15 years old, right in the sweet spot of, I feel like, sitcom family dumb.
But that's tough.
And you're an exchange student who is living under full guardianship, parental supervision of this family for at least 1 year. Ooh. So it's not you're not going on a vacation. You better strap in and be comfortable here. So, but I think that's just easier than like, well, like, how do I blend into this family?
I'm like, but I won. But it's like,
so all that's
especially at
thrown out.
15.
You're just coming in,
Spending
and who do you want to live with? If you do not, if we get into any of this, you do not subsume any of the traits or the powers. All this is gonna sound weird because I talked to Emily.
this is what I got kicked out for last time.
Producer Emily and I talked about this before, and one of which we can come back to if anyone's interested. But we talked about Addams Family, and she's like, if I'm in the Addams Family, do I like get powers or something? And I was like, no,
They don't have powers.
White girl, who's the one? The cousin? She's just like a straight white girl with like
That's
the
the
cute hair?
Munsters.
Oh, that's the Munsters. But yeah, there's like one girl that just
Yeah.
has nothing spooky.
That's true.
about
Yeah,
it.
that is
I don't
true.
really know a lot about the Addams
Addams
Family. I thought
Family,
they like did
they're just
they
weird
like
and
the
creepy.
magic
Yeah,
hand
there's a
hand.
Isn't that like a power?
It's like,
No, I thought the other ones
just
did
a
more.
dismembered-
This is supernatural.
So there's an idea that Fester's probably dead. Like he is probably
power
We don't
Already
have
dead.
any,
Alive.
whatever it is.
Yeah, but
whatever
then I
family.
don't Gomez and Morticia.
If you pick
they were,
Danny
like, just
Phantom, you don't
Goth.
get ghost
Yeah.
powers. Like
Yeah, I think I
those
asked
superhero
if I lived
powers,
with
like, none of that.
in Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
Ooh.
would I be a witch?
No,
And
you
she
get-
said
Good
no.
one.
No,
Oh, then
you get to
that's
live
too,
with-
off the
yeah,
list.
You're
that's
an exchange
unfair.
student.
You're
You're
So,
lucky if you speak the
You
same
can go to the
language.
other realm.
True.
I've always
No fairy godparents. I got you.
yeah, you don't
okay.
get fairy godparents, so none of that stuff. So
Okay.
you're just a regular person in whatever
Well,
situation.
that actually makes it
I think
more.
I think I
Yeah.
know mine.
Because
Oh, wait, you go.
I'm just saying if I'm thinking, there were people where I'm like, if I'm gonna live with them my whole life, that's gonna be a thing. But
Yeah.
a year,
Yeah,
then
just
a
a year.
couple years,
I feel like,
my
a year or two
stamina
is
for
like
that is
an
all
amount of
right.
time where, it's not a lifelong commitment, but it's like, but you still got to be, it's not a long weekend. You got to
Yeah.
be comfortable with the situation.
How much of a family does it? Can it be family? Does it have to be family, or does it be,
It's got to be a
Can
family.
be like
Family.
Fast and the
No,
Furious
well,
family.
it can be.
Yeah,
It has to
exactly.
be adult, some kind of adult parental figure who has children already in their life. So you can't just pick like
can't
two
go live in-
random TV characters who are adult. I can't like live with Batman and Robin or what. I guess he's a kid. Maybe you can. But I can't be like, I want to live with Superman and Lois and like I'm going to be their adopted kid. Like it has to be a pre-established family that
Yeah.
you're coming into. So it's not just any TV characters. We're going to try and keep it within the realm of sitcom and sitcom adjacent.
Could it be like work families, like Cheers, or is that a cop
No,
out?
because Cheers, there's no kids. And
Okay,
Well, I
so
could
there
live
has
with
to be
Frasier
children.
and his dad
If
and
you-
Frasier.
yeah,
and
that's
not
true.
Eddie the little dog. Hell
if
yeah,
you
and
want
Daphne?
to, if you
Okay,
want
that's
to pick
Clay's
a
answer.
family,
That's not my answer.
I'll say the family doesn't. To open up a slightly, the family doesn't have to be the main character.
Okay.
But so if you wanted to pick Cheers and like two random characters, like I'm gonna go live
Sam
with
and
them.
Diane.
Yeah,
Sam and
either
Diane.
child.
That's not an exchange
Yeah.
student.
So they don't have kids. But like
Yeah.
if it's like
Carla. She has
Carla
all
and
those
Danny
kids.
DeVito.
there you go.
No, but Carla in the show has
She
all
does
the.
have
She has
kids.
a
She
lot
talks
of
about a
kids.
lot of
That would be
kids.
awful.
You want to be one of Carla's
No,
kids?
I don't. But I
Next, and
Yeah, so you can extend it certain ways, but it does have to be some kind of family
Okay.
unit. You can't invent a new family just out of whatever random characters you want.
I know mine.
Okay.
This is one
she's
my
about to explain.
pre-rehearsed.
You're just like,
I know
I'm
it.
ready to go.
I know
You
it.
two did know about the topic ahead of time because we talked about it, and I was going to do it a different week, and then ended up switching things around.
I was very passionate about the subject.
And then I knew that I brought you on specifically for this because I know your passion for this.
Yes.
I just was like, I just had a feeling that you.
Oh, I
would
know
come
all
with
this.
some
I know
good-
this.
I feel like you're
Once I knew the answer, I'm like, I'm the least.
And then I brought you in because you're old and you
I'm
might
like,
have a different perspective.
yeah, the elder's perspective.
Well,
we need that.
yeah. See, I have some answers, but I don't want to cut off Katie. She has.
Oh,
she's
please.
like really
You're
here.
bursting at the same
I
time. I feel like
am.
we're gonna have some overlap
Okay.
in our choices. So why don't you start us off with just what's your first gut reaction?
My gut reaction when I first heard the question, and it continues to be now as I think of various justifications, the Tanner family
from Full House.
from Full House.
See, that's I feel like the probably classic. Maybe I would guess maybe one of, if not the most popular answer that people would
Yeah,
have.
but I would like hearing that I'm just an exchange student is, I don't know, slightly less appealing because I want to inherit the property.
Oh, you're
and
she's making a real.
Danny's going to be like, I give this to my favorite daughter.
The not my daughter one.
Yeah, the one that came and joined when
like
she was
the-
15.
I do think you brought up an interesting thing because it is about the people and it's about how you
Yes.
blend in with the family, but the situation and what you're coming into is also a big factor.
Yes.
And living in San Francisco in the nicest part of the city in
Yes.
houses that
Yeah.
nowadays cost millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet setup. They got this sick what is it? Is it a 4-story? It's a
Yeah.
4-story house, right? Because they had the
attic.
at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
Jesse and Aunt Becky's.
Oh, and by the way, I have a surprise for you.
Oh.
For the end of the show.
Bring him out.
John
No,
Stamos.
yeah, John Stamos is here. No, we have a little game to play at the end of the show. So
I hope
stay
it's the Full
tuned.
House board game.
Stay tuned for that. Yeah, we're gonna play.
Try it.
The crowd loves it.
Yeah.
It's on live. Join us on
It
the
takes
Instagram.
6
on
hours to
Twitch.
play.
And it's
Yeah.
great for podcasting.
It's really
very
good.
exciting.
Yeah, it's an audio game mostly.
Podcast, yeah, you can play along with your home edition.
Okay, so give us other than just the real estate.
Okay.
Lay out your reasoning for.
Aw, well, I love them. Honestly, when I see like a picture of Bob Saget, I feel like I know him intimately. R.I.P. Obviously,
Yeah.
but like,
even though he's in real life is nothing
It's
like
nothing
his
like- but I
character.
see
He's
his
like the
face.
filthiest comedian who ever lived.
I see his face and I'm just like, Papa. I feel like I just know him so well. And
I saw
also,
a clip of him, like a random clip from America's Funniest Home Videos,
Oh,
and that
God.
that took me back to like.
Oh, my
There was just a
God.
moment where Bob
don't make me
Saget
sing
was
the
like.
theme song.
Oh no, we're
I
not
got a
doing
mic.
that. We're
I
not
just
doing
went.
that.
I just went to. We just took a trip for my birthday to San Francisco for the first time. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
were playing the theme song. We drove
That
by
was
the
beautiful.
house. It was deeply embedded.
So, but not to obviously you
No
know
poke
your
holes
answer,
in it.
but
Yeah.
no, it's not poking holes. But you're like this house has 9 people living in it. How many people live in this full house? They don't call
It's
it
a full
full house
house.
because there's room for one more. Let me just tell you. I feel like
I'll sleep in Joey's little enclave thing that he was in the beginning
But it also
seasons.
depends on what era of Full House you're going into, because later Joey and Becky have kids,
Oh, yeah,
and then
got
there's
twins.
like 3 more
Oh,
people
yeah,
added
there's
into
like
the
friggin-
into the mix.
Yeah.
So I feel
so
you gotta
that
go
you're like
maybe-
signing up for like that life too.
Yeah.
That's great. I like being in a house full of people.
And Uncle Joey being like, cut it out.
Well, I feel like that's
love
part
it.
of the appeal, right?
Yeah.
Is you get
Yeah,
some
you're like, I get the
characters,
Bullwinkle
like-
voice every day.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I just always wanted, like, watching that show and like the set of it. It was my fantasy to just like touch the banister of the stairs. So
Like, Katie, get in here. Stop touching the banister. We're eating dinner.
like so to be in that house or to see like what's behind the kitchen, like where the laundry room was, because they never filmed that little hallway.
Oh, sure.
And I think there might be a bathroom back there that was never portrayed on screen. So I'd like
She
to,
keeps snooping around. Like,
I'd like to wander around the house
Yeah.
yeah, you would.
in the dead of night.
So above, so a lot of yours comes down to just the like nostalgia and
Yeah.
fantasy of being in the experience, and that
Yeah.
above any other show
Yeah,
is like clicks in for you.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, no other family.
Because I feel that way too, but Full House Full House would be on my list, on my short list, but I think the chaos of the number of people in it would be too much for me for a year or more.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
Yeah, that'd be way too chaotic for me. I
Yeah.
need more attention on me.
I need to be an only
Bottle
child or close
episode.
to it.
Yeah.
So where were you going?
What's your gut reaction?
So, when I think about this question, I try to bring myself back to where I was when I was 15.
Okay.
And
Where were you? Paint the picture.
Yeah.
teen angst.
Teen angst.
Classic.
I was really, really embedded in my like Tupac phase. You know?
Where are we going with this?
Well, I was
You gonna live with Tupac?
no. I'm just what would be the most
He had a pilot sitcom that never
yeah,
got
it
aired.
didn't take.
who would be the most supportive of that phase?
Okay.
And I think the top family for me would have to be the Banks. Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Fresh
There
Prince
we
of Bel-Air.
go.
Another top. I would say if you polled the
Yeah.
audience, I'm sure that would be a top 3, top 2 maybe choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my. It's at the top of my short
When Katie
list,
started
for sure.
laying out the real estate and stuff, I was like, Bel Air.
Yeah.
Just thinking of that. Yeah.
You want to talk about a sweet setup?
yeah.
Living in Bel Air.
Jeffrey hanging
Yeah.
out.
And you want to talk about like black excellence, they're like number
yeah.
2.
Oh.
One Huxtables, but
Yeah.
We backed into this in our pre-conversation about this. We backed into like, boy, a really great answer got wiped off the board.
When I was a kid, I would have given anything to live with the Huxtable
know.
family.
Same.
I love the Huxtables
Me
so
too.
much.
And
And
it's just
couldn't bring myself
You
to.
still could. I mean, listen, it's a
Yeah.
character. It's not the
true.
guy, but
Yeah.
it puts a damper on the whole
really
thing in a
does.
way that's like it'd be tough.
It was like a while ago I watched the rerun and I was just like, oh, I want to finish it, but then I want it
like-
so bad, but
you get Felicia Rashad. Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's we'll as an honorable mention, we'll just say everybody would choose, maybe not number 1, but it's a very valid
Yes.
choice to choose the Huxtables, but it's just too sad.
Yeah,
at this point,
it's tainted now, but
But I guess if in this hypothetical world, if you're going back to when I was 15, nobody knew. So
Yeah.
maybe you
True.
just pretend like
La,
you
la,
don't
la,
know.
la.
Cole went back to 15 and then found himself a supportive family that he helped himself
Colin
nurture.
was like,
So he's not-
My answer is based on who do I think likes Tupac the most of all these families. Like
Yeah.
Danny Tanner, probably not a big Tupac guy.
And if you're fit, I mean, you're probably living with Will at this
Yeah.
point too.
Yeah.
Will's there,
Exactly.
and
Well,
the
cool.
whole
He's-
family.
he's,
yeah.
you
That's
know,
actually a great question. Do you think that makes it easier or harder for you because they already have an interloper,
The other
adopted
one.
child, and now are they just like we're just letting them in off the streets
Yeah.
here, or do you think that makes it easy because they already know like yeah, we just we already got one, we'll take another one.
I like to think it would be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I'd probably be more on the vibe of Carlton, not gonna lie.
Carlton.
With my dance moves
Yeah.
and singing Tom Jones, but
I have seen you do that all the time. You won't stop singing.
I know.
What's new, Pussycat?
Yeah, whoa.
I can just see the team up of Will comes in late at night. And,
The duet.
And Colin.
The
The two C's are really
C's,
coming
yeah.
after him.
yeah.
But I could coexist between both of them, you
Yeah, I
know?
think you
Yeah.
have a little
No,
bit of
that'd be
Carlton,
good.
a little bit of Will
Yeah.
blended between you. You could be the bridge that connects them.
Exactly. It'd just be Hillary that I'd have to, kind of, get my
Well,
bearings.
You're
This is-
15. This is younger than everyone in the family, right? Oh no, they have the young daughter.
Yeah.
Ashley.
Yeah,
Ashley,
probably,
yeah,
you're probably
she's
in
young.
between
Yeah.
like Carlton
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Ashley.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you'd
she
be
would
like-
overtake me with the child cuteness.
Yeah, she'd
you know.
definitely get the baby.
Yeah, I'd be in puberty then. So,
I know that's the hard part. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
sitting there
15's
living with the
so
hot older
rough.
sister,
Yeah.
and then you're like, no, I bet
She's not my
your
sister.
Yeah, I'm saying not in the family. She's the hot older sister. Yeah.
All right, Clay. It's you can go ahead. And, no, you can go ahead and exit. For,
Yeah, goodbye.
bring in the hot
Yeah.
older
So my
sister.
answer is, so I think
What's
to
the
myself,
hottest
what?
sister?
Who's the hottest sister? And I'm like, damn. Yeah, no.
Okay, but wait, before we get off of the banks, because that it is probably top two for me, and it's a tough choice between my top two, but they're definitely in there. My hang up is they're kind of snooty, right? And that like just the whole vibe, like the whole
Having a
crux
butler?
of the show, the whole conflict of the show is this kid comes in who's not like them, and they treat him like shit half the time, and like they're kind of assholes to him.
Yeah.
He's also can be an asshole, but like that's like the whole conflict is like they don't get along because of different backgrounds or whatever. And I'm like, I would probably have an easier time blending into that than Will maybe, but I'm like, I don't have a lot of tolerance for like
snobbiness.
pretentiousness and snobbiness, so I feel like I might just clash personality wise a little too much.
Yeah.
I couldn't let Jeffrey like clean up after me every time or clean my. I don't know.
Yeah.
All that, like
That
having
would
a
make
couple
me
times, but like all
uncomfortable,
the time having him be like, "Oh yes, sir. Yeah, right this way."
Yeah.
I don't know. I like
But Jeffrey's
Yeah,
he's
like, I can
sassy.
get
He
used to
was-
that.
he's
I
not
was gonna
really
say, I like
that.
Jeffrey's like sass.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
If you cross the line, he'd let you know.
Yeah,
that's
he's
for
like
sure.
a good
But I
baller,
just
but he's
feel
not
like
gonna like.
Yeah.
He's not gonna
my
like bow
line
down
for
to
having
you.
a butler.
He'll,
Like having a maid come in a couple times, clean the house or whatever. Like that's cool, but having somebody like wait on you hand and foot, it feels like.
I feel like I'll be in the background like, oh damn, Jeffrey.
Catchright.
I feel like
Oh,
Jeffrey.
Colin, introducing. Oh, damn, Jeffrey, Colin.
I think that in the house, based on like having that hang up about the rest of the family, I feel like Jeffrey would soon become my closest ally
Yeah,
in the
that's
house,
true.
and he would be
That-
like
that-
me
I feel like
too.
Outsiders.
This is the world, yeah. But then, yeah. To your point, like I wouldn't. You wouldn't. I'd be very uncomfortable taking advantage of the benefit of having a butler
Yeah,
in the house
exactly.
because,
He's like, this is literally my job, and
Yeah,
I'm like, I know, and I'm sorry.
but I'm like, I gotta do some dishes
Yeah.
every once in a while or something. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. And that's why, I think with Hillary, we might clash, bump a little
Yeah.
heads just because I think
Hillary's-
in the show, she was always like portrayed as like,
and she's the most annoying. for
yeah,
sure.
annoying, airheadish, like,
And just the most
materialistic.
Like, yeah, the most like stuck up, what's stereotypical rich person.
yeah. And so, yeah, that would probably not vibe with me.
Yeah.
But,
But you're willing to overlook it.
I mean, Bel Air.
It's a good setup.
Yeah.
Are there any other like top contenders for you that you had to, other than the Huxtable?
Yeah. Well, outside of that, then I go like, what family would be fun to kind of just like watch and like get like the tea of like just like how ridiculous they are and just like report or like, I'm imagining me banging back home being like, yo, y'all not gonna believe what just happened. and the family that like first comes to mind is in Arrested Development.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay, which family unit are you choosing? Because you can either go, I guess your options are Michael and George Michael, or the sister.
Yeah.
She has a kid.
Maybe.
Yeah,
a kid.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I would have to go
Maybe-
Tobias.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
Tobias, and what's the sister's name?
Yeah, why can't I think of her name? It's Priscilla.
Lin-
not-
No.
Isn't her name Priscilla?
Yeah,
Is it
look at her,
Lindsay? No.
Lindsay. Yes,
Yeah,
it
I
is
think it's
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
It is
Yeah,
Lindsay.
Lindsay, Tobias, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a fun dynamic, and then seeing
You think-
George
but-
Michael.
Traumatizing. Fun.
I think
Having Tobias as your
Father.
caretaker as a
Yeah.
15-year-old.
Yeah.
that'd be-
But do you think there's an entertainment value to that?
Yeah.
Totally.
For a bit.
Yeah.
But do you think that?
No,
that
I'm
would
coming out
wear-
scarred, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
choosing
So
that.
That's a lot of my answer.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like the 1 to 2 years. I'm like, okay, then I can maybe.
Yeah.
Because they do portray them as like regularly being in the headlines of like famous rich families
Yeah.
in trouble or whatever. So you could be like, you know, the kid that ends up on Dr. Phil being like,
Yeah, let me tell you about this
yeah,
family.
yeah, let me get a book deal out of this.
Yeah.
See, that's great.
All right. So you got Banks. I almost said Dr. Phil because I thought of Uncle
Dr.
Phil.
Phil.
I just say Tobias
Yeah.
and
You
crew.
got Banks. You got Tobias.
Fuke, you'd be in the
Yeah,
Fuke.
Fuke.
Nice.
Any others that jump out?
You know, American Dad.
Okay, I was waiting to see if we would get into the animated.
So literally all
all
of
of
my
yours are
answers
animated?
are animated. So,
Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't mean
No,
to.
no,
no, it's a
you're
good
not stopping
transition. But
anything.
so
Yeah.
American, I mean,
that
The Alien?
I've
For a
seen
second.
0 episodes.
I've
of
seen
American
I've seen
Dad, so
a
I-
decent amount.
Yeah.
Not in like 15 years probably, but like, you think that's a good? They've seen like they suck, don't they?
They kind of do, but I
They do-
mean, just for Roger alone.
Yeah, you do have an alien, and
Yeah,
that's
that-
a pretty.
yeah.
That's a pretty sweet.
And he's hilarious. He has like all those aliases, and I
Yeah.
think like
You
I
guys would
just
get up to some hijinks together.
yeah, and I think him and Steve, and we can like serenade the whole house with some R&B.
You really went in on the like big eclectic personalities. If your choices
Yeah.
are the Banks family is the most normal, and you go an American Dad and Arrested Development.
Yeah,
You're just like,
let's
I'm
go.
just pushing the chaos button.
Yeah.
Let's just go for it.
You picked the right guy for sitcoms.
Yeah. You're like, whatever. I'm really here for the calm.
Yeah.
part. I
Yeah.
just live with
Exactly.
whatever crazy bullshit happens after that.
Yeah.
All right. So you're coming at it from animation.
Well, so not total animation. Before I really got into animation, first idea that comes to mind was Clarissa Explains It All.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
because I feel like she, especially as a 15-year-old, always had my kind of dream 15-year-old, like her room
Yes.
with the like window with the ladder that could come up. I would
yeah.
basically be Sam that gets to live in the house, you know, like the guy that came through the window. Like, and then, well,
Did you guys ever watch As Told by Ginger?
Absolutely.
Is As Told by Ginger just animated Clarissa Explains It All?
Kinda.
It feels like
funny because
almost the
that
same
name
show.
is it's like someone rephrased the
I
word
know.
explain it all as told by.
Yeah, it's literally like
the
they
girl's
were just
name.
like,
Yeah,
remember that show that
Clarissa,
people love?
Ginger, yeah,
Just
yeah.
do an animated version.
Oh, I love what's Macy or whatever,
Yeah.
her friend,
Yeah.
and then the Macy Gray theme song that I love.
So
talk about
is that wait Ginger? That's animated, right?
Told by
But
Ginger's
That
animated,
looks a
yeah.
lot like, which was one of my other families, maybe the Thornberries.
Oh yes, Wild Thornberries.
Definitely threw that out. I was like, that would be
Because they were like, you get to go to these crazy places,
Yeah, you're
but it was
traveling.
like in a safe kind of way. Like they're like studying and like, yeah, obviously you get into some hijinks. It's
Yeah,
15 at this
incredibly
point.
unsupervised.
yeah. Well,
She's like hanging out with fucking rhinos up close every week.
At least she can talk to them.
Her parents don't know that.
I know, but if I
The
am
lack of
15, she's gonna let me know that she can't. We're gonna be like cool. On
yeah,
that.
no,
And
you're
then I
gonna get
the-
some cool
I don't get the powers,
experiences.
but we get to like.
Yeah, but you might
hang
get
out.
gored by a fucking wild animal because you don't talk to animals. You're just along
I know,
for the
but
ride.
I'll be like, yo, Seth, put in a word.
I think he likes the hot older sister of.
Yeah,
Oh,
older
another hot
sister,
older
another
sister.
one.
Yeah,
Line them up.
she had the
Debbie?
Yeah, the
She
hair
had
over the
that-
eye.
hair.
So another,
She's
so
cool.
this is weird hot older sister thing but I do feel like I was the perfect age for Doug when Doug came, and having Judy. He was like perfect house.
Judy.
I loved his like living in Somethingsburg. Oh God. Anyway, they had the Honker Burger. You had all this stuff that was like, it was just like the perfect town to be
Yeah.
that age.
Yeah.
Like everybody was right there. It is kind of the classic almost American graffiti. There's a bully and there's this and there's that. But just like how close everyone lived to each other and how like that whole town operated, it would be cool to be thrown into being a 15-year-old in Thinksville.
Bluffington.
Bluffington. Yes.
Such a
Dixville.
You can't go there.
Yeah,
You're
Doug-
banned.
So yeah, Doug was high on my list too. And then I was like, obviously I don't want to be maybe a Simpson, but I think it would be fun to live in Springfield. And I was like,
we
what
gotta
family?
pick a family. Yeah.
I'd
What
like to be.
family
I'd
could
like
I
to be a
go into?
Simpson.
Simpson would be fun.
Yeah.
The
Simpsons
Homer
are
and stuff,
terrible.
but that would be
No,
they're the originators of what if everyone was just bad?
Yeah.
Except for
Everyone
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
show's an asshole.
Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know. Obviously, the Flanders and I wouldn't get
Ew.
along, but it could be hilarious.
But the Flanders, at least, you're gonna get a good
No.
home.
I know, and
Too
you're gonna have a good home and live
oppressive.
next to the Simpsons.
Oppressive.
After you do your
Live
deal,
with
after you do your
sad-
year with Tobias, you
Yeah.
do your year with the Flanders to like decompress
Yeah.
after.
You live with Millhouse and his feuding parents as they're going through the divorce.
For 20 years.
Yeah, all constant divorce. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, those kind of the cartoons were hard. I also thought of Rugrats. Being a 15-year-old was different.
See, that's
Yeah.
the
There's
problem.
like,
They're-
I love Stu.
that's all
I
grown
love that
up.
whole family. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't an all grown up guy, but
So you're going,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
grown up. I
grown
didn't even
up,
think about that
yeah.
angle.
You could do that.
So,
Now,
That opens it up.
Yeah.
That really, you really just shook my world with that because I had thought about
his head
Rugrats,
just
but I was like,
blown
I'm
up.
not.
He's all blown up.
Yeah.
I was really thinking about Rugrats because that was like one of my favorite
Yeah.
shows when I was a kid. But like,
Yeah.
I was just like babies. I'm not gonna deal with the babies, but like the all grown up version. Now, are you going Tommy
I'm going the Pickles
and
family.
Stu? Going
Yeah.
the classic Pickles,
Classic.
Because
not
I want Stu.
Not
I want
Angelica.
Stu as a dad. Oh yeah, no Angelica. Angelica can come over.
Drew and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickles are not your.
Oh yeah, Charlotte, who's like, who's
What,
your guy? She's always like,
Jonathan?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
You think I don't know if this is true or not, but you think Jonathan's still around by all grown up times, or he's like
Dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Stress.
Yeah, she's on her 5th Jonathan.
Yeah. Only
He's
Jonathan.
actually Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like,
can't-
please stop calling me that.
Yeah. But I think actually a decent contender is Chucky and Chaz.
yes.
Great guy.
He
if
is
you
a
want
great
just like
guy.
the heartwarming single dad
Yeah.
kind of
That's the
vibe.
thing, single dad, though you have a little bit of that where you'll be
Yeah.
like, but even in all grown up,
But he
never
would
get
be.
somebody?
But I think Chucky would be.
He did.
Oh no! Yeah, by the time all
'Cause he
grown
marries-
up, because he marries.
Kimmy's mom.
Yeah, what's her
Yes. Ooh.
This is testing all of the limits
Kimmy's
of our memories.
Denise?
She's French.
Denis?
But yeah, so now they do have a family unit then. So you got Chaz, you got Denis. You'll get it.
Kira.
Oh, there you go.
I thought it was French.
Kira.
They went to Paris, right?
They did, yeah.
Yeah,
Rugrats in
Rugrats
Paris.
in
Oh yeah.
Probably did
And
that.
then there were more seasons after the movie where Kimmy became a main character.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So then you have that's somewhere, but I think living with Stu Pickles and all his.
Oh yeah.
What's the one?
All the inventions.
Pudding
Yeah.
stirring scene where he says, "I've lost control of my life." I love that.
Classic. Yeah, so those are where mine go. Literally the only like real live action one is Clarissa, and it's more based on like the
Did you
life
have-
that you get to kind of live there, like that they got to live.
The way that Katie was just like Full House is
Yeah.
just in me from childhood. Do you have a childhood family sitcom in that way?
I really don't. I feel like my mom wasn't a big sitcom fan, and I grew up watching. Like I watched Cheers a bunch as a kid. I watched like all the Nick at Nights, like Lucy show.
Lucy.
Like Lucy.
Lucy.
I
Lucy
loved
and
Mary
Ricky.
Tyler Moore. I loved
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
Oh,
That would be a fun house to be in, the Dick
Yeah.
Van Dyke show.
Oh, if
So-
we're going on that road, Andy Griffith is like
Oh,
a wild
yeah.
card, but
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
lot of nostalgia for that. That's just
Yeah.
like living just because I don't know how this works. If it's like, I guess my 15-year-old self is like time traveling back to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
1950s Mayberry, but like you just get a whole different
That's the
slice
thing.
of
Classic.
It's kind of
life,
like the
you know?
Springfield thing. Yeah, it's like just to live in that community.
Yeah.
Would be worth
Be
it.
in the
It would be
world.
cool. So yeah, I feel like I was like we watched Nick at Night sitcoms, but we didn't really watch regular. Like my mom wasn't into. We watched like Sybil, which was the Sybil Shepherd one. Like for a second, we watched like just random ones, and then we watched Cheers, and then I feel like it was I watched Seinfeld forever.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we watched Frasier forever. So it was just like those kind of things. It was like the reruns, basically what came on television, I think all across the country from 6:37, 7:38
Yeah.
or whatever. Those like that,
All
like
the
rerun
reruns.
stack or whatever.
Oh, that was my
just
whole
like,
life.
yeah,
Me
exactly.
too.
That was
Yeah.
what we were watching all the time. So I didn't really, so when I met Katie, she was watching what's the Michael J. Fox one?
Oh, yeah, this is another contender of mine.
Growing Pains.
Oh
Ties.
God, I love yes, Family Ties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing Pains was
I love Growing Pains
Cameron,
too.
what's his name?
James Cameron.
Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron, yeah.
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. So Katie was watching all those, and she watched the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's Growing Pains, baby.
And yeah,
I wanna be in the
and
Leonardo
Three's Company
DiCaprio
with
years.
that's not a. Well,
Yeah,
it's
you
a
want to talk
sitcom,
about
but-
hot older brother?
Yeah, hot son of a random alcoholic boy,
but he's
whoever he
around,
was.
Wait, what show is this? See, I don't
This
know
is
any
Growing
of these.
Pains.
See, I don't
You've
know.
literally
This
never
is what I'm
watched Growing
saying,
Pains?
is you were like you had this knowledge from a
Chrissy?
whole nother like batch, and those
I
are
did.
all
I was
just
an extensive
names to me.
sitcom watcher.
Yeah.
There's also Sister and Smart Guy,
Yeah.
which
Okay,
So
are
Smart
Smart
Guy
Guy.
was
Yeah.
way up on my list because I'm like, personality wise,
Yes.
that's a major fit with me because they're all like kind of like sarcastic and sassy, but they're like fun. Like no one's like really a dick, but they do kind of like
Rib each other.
rib each
yeah.
other,
Yeah.
and like the dad, like another like fun single dad kind of heartfelt vibe to it. So
Proud Family.
Oh,
That'd be
yeah,
in there,
Proud Family is so
Proud
good.
Family's getting into your Arrested Development Full House territory.
Yeah.
Like, it's a chaotic house to actually
Yeah.
live in full time, but it'd be a wild ride.
Kick it with Sugar Mama.
And going further down I'm just throwing out random ones. I'll get to my list in a minute, like my final contenders. But Smart Guy was definitely a big one. But another animated one is Hey Arnold.
Yes.
Now,
yeah.
this is one I
Boarding
probably
house.
couldn't commit to because, again, I think it's a little bit too chaotic of a lifestyle. But living in the boarding house with, his grandma and grandpa are crazy, and you have like all the kooky characters who live there.
Kakashka.
Susie.
What's his name? Oscar.
Oh,
Oscar,
Oscar,
yeah.
yes. He's so sweet. That's
the
so
episode where
Susie.
Oscar learns how to read.
Oh my
just
God.
Crush my heart.
Yeah.
Still my favorite Christmas episode.
Oh, the Christmas episode.
Yeah,
He's
Hey
like
Arnold.
looking for his parents. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Hey Arnold. I feel like Hey Arnold taught me all of the morality I still have in my
Totally.
life today.
As long as it's
And-
not Helga's family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
a,
mom like an alcoholic?
Mom's an alcoholic,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
but the Hey Arnold thing is interesting when you hit on Doug because in Arnold's like, what is he, 10 or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
And he's just roaming around New York like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
his whole
Love that.
life. I'm like, that's kind of a vibe that I could
Yeah.
get down with. Is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you just live in that world where everybody's just you're just living
Yeah,
in New York,
everybody can bike
going
to everybody's house, and now everybody in your school. You like know where they live.
Yeah.
and when there's like a neighborhood kickball game, it's everybody in your school.
Yeah.
there kind of thing.
when they would say he goes to PS 118, I was
Yes.
like, what the hell does that
I
mean?
know.
He's like, oh yeah, there's so many schools in New York that they just
yeah,
number them. They don't even
Yeah.
like get names half the time. I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be a different.
yeah. Hey
different
Arnold is
world.
a good one. I really that's like so many of those.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, if there's any other Nickelodeon.
Rocket Power. I would.
Oh, yeah.
I would,
That's
That's a
sweet.
vibe.
Venice.
I would Otto and
Yeah.
Reggie.
Yeah.
What, in Hawaii?
They're in Venice,
They're in
right?
Venice,
Yeah,
yeah.
California.
Yeah.
So you're
I always
living-
did think that they were in Hawaii. Though.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause the
It
one
is a
guy
Hawaii
was like
vibe.
Yeah.
He was like a Hawaiian.
Tito,
Yeah,
I think he
Yeah.
was Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But yeah, they like own that was like another like you kind of childhood fantasy of like
Yeah.
your family
Yeah.
owns a restaurant and you're like in and out working and like as a teenager and stuff like that. Like and
Yeah,
it's
but
like
you're
the
like,
hangout
sorry,
spot.
Dad,
always by
can't
the
work.
beach.
There's killer set
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah. And you're like
Or-
surfing. They play.
yeah.
I've loved street hockey as a kid. I'd really get down with some street hockey. So that, Rocket Power is a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rocket Power is good.
That's one I slept on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of was running through some of the animated ones at first and was just kind of like, yeah, Rugrats on it. Like, Hey Arnold's kind of weird. So I was like, kind of dismissed it. But there's more in there that.
Yeah.
I just thought of another one. Lizzie McGuire, her family.
Yeah.
So if you go down the Disney Channel
Yeah.
rabbit hole, you got Lizzie
Even
McGuire, you got Even Stevens. Even Stevens,
Even Stevens
no
was-
chance.
yeah.
That's a that's a wild bunch.
I
And I
know.
feel like not in ways that would be fun to
No.
live. Like, I feel like Proud Family is like, they're crazy, but you'd have a fun time. I feel like even Stevens is just like, I'd be like, get me the fuck out of here. This kid's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
You got Beans running around all the time. Yeah.
Phil is the
Technically
future.
not.
Phil of the
Ooh, that's a
future.
good one. Phil in the future.
See, that's the thing, because we talked about that, and then I was like, oh wait, they're not in the future. He's from the future.
He's
It's just
from
like
the-
one
he's
guy
Phil.
from the future, which would be kind of cool, but it's not quite the same as like, because I was trying to think if there are any. You'd have to go like Jetsons if you
Oh
want
yeah,
to
for
get like
future.
in the future, because there's because Futurama, there's no real family
No.
like unit to. So
Yeah, Jetsons.
Oh, yeah, you can go Jetson.
go Flintstones.
Yeah, it's,
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's
And would
pretty
you
good.
have your knowledge of today and you go back then?
I'll
and
be the
you're
king.
Like,
This may step on a future episode, but I always think like, if I had my knowledge and I like went 100 years in the past, I would be useless. Everyone's like, oh, if I
Totally.
knew what I
Yeah.
do now, I would like be I would take over the world. I'm like, yeah, I know what the things are, but I don't know how to like, oh, you could invent the radio. I'm like, no, I fucking could not invent the radio. It took me 50 years to invent the radio from scratch with no assistance.
The only way is I'm just like investing in whatever something.
Yeah, if
in
you go to the
100
right
years
time
ago.
period,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can like,
you're gonna be dead by the time it pays off.
yeah.
Well, then I'm investing in like Ford or something.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true,
like
that's
the
true,
car
fair.
company, or I know what's going to get big in those years.
Yeah.
You go back to the
Especially-
future and
Yeah,
you're just like
the
placing bets. Like, I think
almanac.
Babe
But see,
Ruth's
that's
gonna
the thing
get
is they're
Babe
like,
Ruth's gonna get sold to the Yankees next year, and everybody's like, "What? They would never trade Babe Ruth to the
like,
Yankees."
you want to bet? You wanna bet?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know enough, especially if it was like literally 100 years. I wouldn't know shit about sports. Like literally 100 years.
Oh,
ago.
yeah,
I'm
if you go
like,
back-
who's gonna win the World Series? I'm like, the White Sox versus the Jokers or something. They're like crazy, like names that you never heard of
Yeah,
before.
even the
Yeah.
50s. You go back to the NBA in the 50s, and it's like the Rochester Hornbirds
Yeah.
were in the finals.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell was this?
Yeah.
Detroit wasn't even a team; it was Fort Wayne.
Yeah. They were like, what if we put all of our teams in weird, obscure cities that
Yeah.
no one lives in?
Yeah, it's probably to get people to move to weird cities. Like, Detroit, they don't even need anybody to move there.
So yeah, so maybe Flintstones. I wouldn't maybe be as powerful as you might, especially as a 15-year-old.
And I'm not sure that's a stable household. It is what, honeymooners? Or
Kind of, yeah,
where it's like,
basically.
to the moon and Alice. That is.
Is what Flintstones was based off of, that
Or it's-
dynamic.
Yeah, it's kind of him being the like.
The head honcho daddy.
But I feel like they flipped it a little more because I feel like he's the one getting kind of like chased out of the house with the rolling pin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
or in
Yeah.
Flintstones.
But still, I don't know if I want to be a 15-year-old there.
Yeah,
Fred is your
it's a
dad.
little- And there's no other because
You're not even my real dad, Fred.
Yeah, because Wilma's like, wait, is Wilma the wife or the
yeah,
daughter?
wife.
Who's the daughter?
Pebbles.
Pebbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like babies.
Yeah, they're
So
babies.
she's
That'd be
less than
boring.
1-year-old. Yeah.
That's not really a good.
You'd be
family
the
setup.
babysitter,
Yeah.
the built-in
I'm not
babysitter.
watching Pebbles again.
Not again. Yeah,
Bam can watch.
I want to get into like the obscure.
Bam's also a baby.
Yeah,
Strong as hell though.
yeah, that's true. Fair. But like the obscure '90s sitcoms, I just like got into my head one that I loved, Grace Under Fire.
I've never even heard.
You
of
guys
it.
I know that. It's what's her name? Brett.
All I know is the daughter was like my imaginary friend
Grace
because I thought she was
Under Fire.
cool.
Brett-
She had Grace
Brett
Under Fire.
Butler.
She was like a
Brett
single
Butler.
mom. She and I
Was
just thought of
Under
another
Fire.
one.
I
She was
can
she.
remember
There's a lot of
something about
pressure.
fire.
There's a lot of pressure for a single mom in the
Designing
90s.
women.
Oh, it's Grace Kelly.
Golden Girls.
Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly. Grace
Grace-
Kelly. You guys don't know the.
No.
Can I get your number?
No.
The Mad TV sketch. What?
I remember it.
If I
I
could
get
go
it.
back and it would be Mad TV.
You would live.
The Mad TV
I
family.
would love to live.
Stuart.
Yeah.
I live with the Stewart
Yeah.
family. Oh my god.
Wait, Grace Under Fire? That didn't ring. I can't believe that didn't ring
Well, I
anybody's
just
bells.
think a lot of people weren't keeping up with the
Me watching.
Created
middle-aged
by
women of the
Chuck
90s.
Lorre,
Ooh, see?
an early
It's a
Chuck
real
Lorre
hit.
Oh, yeah.
joint.
That Dharma and Greg.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. That's not a family.
And wait, there was another one that was it was on Disney Channel, and she would talk to the moon. She would pray to the moon. Please.
Yes.
Yes. And it was like all the children, and they had like a guy who they rented the room out to.
Yes.
Yes.
This is ringing a bell.
What is
it called?
I've looked this up, and it has
It's
like
called
scratched the
moon
itch in my
worship.
brain multiple times, and I will forget it every time I hear it. It was like
The moon, kids.
not the.
Google's not helping me.
I know it's
find
kind of
this.
because it's kind of obscure. Just if you say "girl prays to the moon," Disney.
No, I googled show "Pray to the Moon" Disney, and they have no idea what.
Is it the? It's like a berry. It's like some sort of name, like not huckleberry, but it's like something like.
Okay, I'm
Say
gonna say a name, but I don't know if this is the right
Okay.
show. The Torkelsons.
Yes, it is the Torkelsons.
Wait,
yes.
I think that's.
Is that the name of the show?
That's the family.
That's the family. At
Yeah.
least. I don't know if it's the name of the show.
The Torkelsons.
it
If you look up
animated?
the Torkelsons, you'll get it.
So the Torkelsons was only 2 seasons in 1991.
Katie
Loved
is
that show.
1
I
year.
love that show.
But-
But it came on in syndication. 'Cause I'm so
Guess
young.
this is a perfect transition into the one that will probably end up being my number one. Guess who is one of the kids in the Torkelsons?
Is it a Lawrence brother?
No.
Okay.
It is one. Do you know?
Jason Marsden.
Absolutely not.
Damn.
Lee Norris,
That's
who
right.
is Minkus from Boy Meets World.
Oh,
Young
yes,
tiny
yes,
Minkus
yes.
is in the Torkelsons. 'cause
I do remember
I've
that.
been listening to all of Pod Meets World, the Boy Meets World podcast, and so they talked. I was like, I had never heard of the Torkelsons until they were like, oh yeah, Lee Norris was on that before.
Boy Meets World. That's
So Boy Meets
Classic.
World is probably very likely would end up being my choice. I feel like it's that's my Full House is close, but Boy Meets World is my just like core like, oh, you could just walk around the house like
Yeah.
that's just like what's embedded in my nostalgia the most. And awesome, super fun and cool parents.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
good family vibes all around. Like not like I have a few kids, but not too crazy. You got Mr. Feeney next door. It's another one like kind of Doug where it's like there's like chubbies and like everything seems to be everyone's house and school and everything is like walking distance to each other in this weird suburb of Philadelphia. I guess it's a suburb. I don't know. It's kind of unclear because then there's certain shots where they look like they're like downtown when they like shoot on exteriors. But yeah, I think Boy Meets World is just like
Yeah,
you,
that's a
you
good
just want
one.
the idealized like family experience and
Does
not,
you being so throwing you into this situation, do you change the dynamic of that? Like if they were like, well, I don't know how many seasons there were, but if they were like, all right, next
Many.
season the exchange student comes in, are they just welcoming you into the circle, being like, yeah, come on in, yeah, meet Topanga, is my friend, and yeah,
I
meet all
don't-
these people. Yeah.
I don't know
And
if
then-
it's a consideration of how does this affect the plot of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, Colin was friends with Jeffrey sitting in the back.
You just mean like,
damn,
but do you guys-
Jeffrey, so you're like definitely.
do you just mean like how do I fit into the vibe?
I'm just
Or-
saying,
be
are you
easy,
just
I think.
assuming like, yeah, and then I'm like part of the friend group, and they're like, yo, this is my friend Michael.
isn't
He's just
that-
living here for a couple months.
Isn't that the assumption with all of these? Is that you're going to be like? I guess you kind of that's part of how you navigate your choice. Is
Yeah.
like who do you think would be welcoming in terms of the parts of the family? Like
Yeah.
like I think Full
Like he
House.
was saying, he's
They
not
would be
sure that
welcoming.
he'd be friends with Carlton because he's not sure that Will would really just take him right in.
Full House is like the safest pick. They're
Yeah.
nice to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
They hug.
Fresh Prince, they might be like that's the only thing with the Will because you were like I think it'll be easier because they already have Will, but I feel like they might turn on like if it goes bad for like one day, they're gonna be like another one of these fucking kids off the street. We're
Hillary's
done
gonna
with
think
you.
that. Yeah, Hillary's gonna think that you're literally like a homeless person or something.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God, where did he live before?
well. Then that's my next question. Can we pick the season that we can stay?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can choose which season.
Because
Where you going?
Judges?
the season is when they leave. Him and Carlton first move into the pool house.
Okay, that's a great point. So
Yeah.
the space opens up. I feel like there's a little less stress on the house, right? So that's like a good time for you to kind of swoop in because that's my only concern with Boy Meets World is that Corey and Eric already share a room, so we're a little tight on space in that house. It's not the
You're,
full house.
you're the guy on the couch.
It's not the
Yeah.
full house where they have they just keep building up.
Yeah.
I live on the 6th floor.
You live in
now.
the second basement.
You live in the dungeon that's further below.
L2.
Yeah. So that is a consideration, but I think we could make it work. Or I could pick when they go to college and then I just slot in the family, but they're still around. But then like I feel like the parents are going to be extra nice to you because like you're like replacing like the kids are out of the
Empty
house and you're
nester.
Empty
kind of,
nesters.
you know, I was just watching and they were had a plot about like Eric goes off to college and the parents are like, so, you know, there's a whole bit about Morgan gets a fake Eric to come and pretend to be Eric. I'm like,
That could be you.
I could be fake Eric. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, in all my situations, everybody'd be accepting. Maybe Clarissa wouldn't have to be my friend. Ferguson wouldn't want to be his friend. He's a little twerp anyway.
Yeah, Clarissa would
The
have to be your
mom
friend.
loved tofu. Tofu was the butt of the joke, and now I've been vegan for 20 years, and I'm like, oh wait,
That's
I
a-
love
trained
tofu.
to
That's
hate
actually
tofu from
has that
Clarissa
factored
explained
in
it
for
all.
you guys at all? That like who's going to be
Oh, yeah.
accommodating of you
They'll
being
be-
vegan?
yeah, I think 100% Clarissa's mom's been trying to make the whole family just eat tofu, and everyone
Yeah.
just barfs in her face about it.
So you'll be beloved.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be just her mom is a little fried. There's a little something
Yeah.
to do with
To
her
be
mom.
the
Yeah, her mom's
favorite
like,
son of her mom.
one of us. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe not. I just think it's like Clarissa's world was just cool.
It was
I don't know
cool.
about that.
Ooh, the
Sometimes it's
So
just a
Weird
vibe.
family.
Alex Mack's family. If I could be the
So Weird
blob,
always
if I could get blob powers. I can't
Capri
remember
Sun.
much about her. I feel like she had the annoying brother kind of
I like
thing.
vaguely remember that show, but
Yeah.
I can't remember family dynamics of it.
Yeah, I'm actually picking the So Weird family. I would love to be on tour with Phillips, whatever her name is, from the Mamas and the Papas descendant.
So what is this?
So weird from
What is So Weird?
from Disney, where she they go on
Yes.
tour and she's living in the tour bus with her older brother, and she has her computer and she's typing on the computer and she finds weird things that are happening in the different cities that her mom is going on tour in, and she like explores haunted places. And she types very proficiently. All the girls who typed very proficiently.
No, you don't get to take her powers. So,
Typing.
yeah, like-
That's also Clarissa. I was
she
like,
was an
damn, these girls can
amazing
type.
typer.
But it has Patrick Levi, who's one of the friends from Brink.
It all comes back to
And
Brink.
this connection. Oh, and Eric Von Denton from Brink is also in this show.
Classic.
apparently.
Eric Von Denton was
I never
the
even-
golden boy. Are you kidding?
I never heard of this show.
So weird. I loved it. And it's Phillips. Mackenzie Phillips. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama?
Especially this era, I wasn't as big on Disney.
Oh, I
Channel.
loved
was
it. I used to
way-
pretend
was
that my
deep in
pillow was my
Nickelodeon.
laptop.
Yeah.
Who's the other one that had the website or something?
So weird.
No, it's like the name of the show.
iCarly.
So weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's a
it.
later. That's kind of.
Yeah, that's later.
That's a little past.
As a resident
Hey,
old
literally
guy.
all these are. I'm the 40-year-old here. So all of these, I'm like,
iCarly
you
was
kids
cool.
and you're so weird.
So there's a
This is
cat-
the Waverly
26
Place.
when that show came on.
There's a category we haven't really touched on, which is like the how do you fit into. I like cross most of these off of serious contention, but like how do you fit into the blended family dynamic? Because you have Step by Step. It was like a
Classic.
married parents getting married, blending children. Talking about the like iCarly, you have Drake and Josh is like the same kind of plot there. Sister is like two parents coming together with the sister. So like
Katie knows
Bunch.
every single detail
Brady
about
Bunch.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
was
love
gonna
the
say.
Brady
She
Bunch.
is great. But yeah, you want to get thrown in there? You'd be the seventh kid in the
yeah.
Brady Bunch.
See,
Yeah,
Brady
I'll
Bunch
be
is like
Alice's long lost daughter.
Alice. See, that's actually another great kind of like the Jeffrey thing. Is I feel
Yeah.
like the Brady Bunch is like too wholesome for me, but
Yeah.
then Alice is kind of like she's the firecracker who I would
She
probably
is. Her and Sam.
Get
I'll
along
be her and
with.
Sam's
Yeah.
daughter. I was going to say son.
Oh, yeah,
In that world, I'd be their son.
Alice and Sam.
So can we?
They don't live together, but
But I'll just live in
Can
Alice.
we
Alice
redefine
and I will
our
have bunk
entire
beds.
person
Yeah.
when we move to this family?
Yeah, I'm going to be a greaser.
Yeah,
Boy,
if you get to
from
design. So okay, if you get to go to any family, but you could design yourself as a sim, and you can design every single
oh, and
detail.
now I'm fitting into that world.
Oh, especially if you're going into Doug and you're like, okay, I got purple skin.
Yeah.
My hair is 3 feet tall. like,
Hey,
Yeah.
world, you can get some
Oh
wild.
no,
Totally.
exactly. Yeah, you
hair
get the
and
I wanted
character
that flat
design
top
on
that
these.
you
That
wrote.
flat top that goes 6 feet in.
Yeah, sick. Jared.
You're the one that shows up and Gerald goes,
Gerald. Yeah.
Because you're 15, they're like 10. So
Yeah,
Gerald's like,
yeah.
oh, look at that guy. That guy's fucking cool.
I want to be like him.
good podcasting, but if you ever see Colin's picture of how old were you?
I was 7th grade.
7th grade. Whew, he has some admirable hair.
Ooh.
It is
Had a blowout
the
afro.
blowout,
Wow.
and it is.
But I did it for my
Sweet.
school picture. So
Oh yeah.
Wait, this is
7th
going.
grade.
You're gonna send me a picture, and this is going on the
This is
YouTube
the-
video.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Has
a
to.
link. Check the
Link
link
Has
below.
to, yeah.
Just want to right around here.
yeah.
This is
yeah.
amazing.
So, yeah, if you could go.
Yeah.
I'm
Put
assuming
that
it's not.
version
I was
of
gonna
yourself.
pull it up because I could pull it up right now, but I'm sure it's not on the internet anymore. Because you
You'd
have
be
0 photos
surprised.
on Instagram. So
It's on Facebook.
Ooh.
Oh,
all right, I'll dig it up.
after these messages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the whole blend, the whole like I just wanted to avoid anyone that was like divorced parents getting like, it's just I don't want to be in the middle. Like I feel like a lot of the later seasons of those shows, like Step by Step and Drake and Josh and those, like Sister, they're all kind of like more cool as the things go on, but I don't want to be thrown in the middle of that. That smoke, you know.
Yeah.
I don't need to be my vacation family doesn't need to be having real life serious family issues to be dealing with.
Yeah, you want Roseanne, you don't want the Connors, right?
I don't think I want either.
I want to be in the modern day. The post cancellation.
I was never, yeah.
See, I didn't get into it, but I've like seen probably.
Yeah, I probably saw.
I've seen it. Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah,
John
reruns
Goodman
on Nick at Night. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So many of those shows, I'm like, oh yeah, what family shows did I see? Oh, Home Improvement.
Well, so then the other category I was gonna bring up is like kind of the more adult sitcom that just has kids, because like I was big. My family was huge into Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh
Not a family
yeah.
I want to live with. They're too
Yeah.
too much in the chaos
That's
category.
chaotic,
But yeah, you have like Home Improvement. You have
especially if you're a boy moving into that.
Yeah, you're like another brother.
Yeah, you're like the other. Yeah,
and I guess you can consider that too, like an extended family, because the grandparents and the brother always shows up.
Oh yeah, for Everybody Loves
It is
Raymond,
like
for
I mean,
sure.
that, you want to if you just want to go somewhere purely for like the entertainment value of watching people fight in chaos, then Everybody Loves Raymond's a great one.
What's your verdict on the Bernie Mac show?
Ooh, Bernie Mac.
I haven't thought about that show
So
in a long
classic.
Because
time.
that's not his. You know, he brings in his sister's kids.
Yeah.
I think that probably, and he's just
He does he like hate it? Or
What?
he's just like, like
well,
he's
just
complaining all the time.
he's too grumpy for me.
Yeah,
I
he's
feel
so
like, I feel like
grumpy. He'd yell
he's
at
too
me.
cranky.
Yeah.
I'd get.
I mean, I
in the
just love his
crossfire.
testimonials.
Yeah, they were so good.
America.
Yeah. I forgot about the Bernie Mac.
I feel like Bernie Mac is a little. Maybe it's just from the same era, but a little Malcolm in the Middle adjacent.
Oh, Malcolm
where it's
in
like
the Middle.
another family.
That's a good
where it's
family.
Like it's a pretty, but again, they're just
Oh, that would-
yelling
That's
at each
chaos.
other
That's
constantly.
chaos.
15, and especially because they're. How old do you think
You'd
the
be
Army
right in the
brother
middle.
is?
He's probably like 18,
Yeah, he's in the
18 or
Army.
19.
And then,
yeah.
you have the
The
other
youngest one, Dewey's like
Dewey.
9 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
That's not a
You're right in the middle.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
also
the mom's
in the
yelling
middle.
at you immediately.
Yeah,
yeah,
the mom is so
she's-
stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryan
That's a
Cranston,
tough
though.
one.
Hey.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I loved you.
You want to
I
you could
loved
live
you in
with
Breaking Bad.
you
Walter
could live
White.
with Walter White.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Do you get to have knowledge of the sitcom as you go in, so you know that he's dealing meth when you're living with him?
No. I
Breaking
don't
Bad
think
is not a
so.
sitcom.
It's a situational comedy.
I laughed at it constantly.
Jesse, hilarious. How many times he says bitch? That's comedy.
Gatorade me, bitch. That's actually kind of a good question. Like, if there's weird stuff going on, like wild thornberries, how
Yeah.
long
Do
do you
I know?
until
Do I get
you
to go in and
realize-
walk up
she
to
might, because
Eliza?
she's probably going to hide it from you.
Yeah.
And I'll be
Maybe
like-
at some point that's like a plot of the season that you're
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
where you like earn each other's trust and she lets you
Say,
know.
"Wait
But
a
she
second."
never tells her parents.
Maybe, like you said, I'm about to get gored because we're hanging out.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wait a fucking second.
to the rhino.
To the rhino. And then I'm like, how'd you
Yeah.
do that? Because to me, all I heard was like,
Is that how she communicates with the animal?
yeah, she just speaks like a demon in what's the Body Snatchers. And then they do whatever she says.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, she like reveals herself to me, and then I go, I'm on to you. And then she tells me. And I get to hang out with Donnie. Isn't that his name?
Yeah, he's
Donnie's-
crazy.
Donnie.
Chaos engine.
Yeah, that'd be too much for me.
Yeah, too much.
But you're not
It's like
like taking
Taz.
care of him. Yeah, he does his own thing.
Yeah, all Eliza does is take care of Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parents
His
are.
own
This is
thing.
what I'm talking about. It's not a good. The parenting in that show is suspect.
I don't have to take care
Yeah.
of Donnie because that's what Eliza's doing.
That's fair.
I'm hanging out.
But you're older than
Africa.
them, so you're gonna have
Yeah,
a little
you're gonna
bit
be
of
with the sister.
responsibility.
Okay,
You know.
scratch her off the list. Burn it.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Edit all this out.
Listen,
All throwing me
I
a
think
top.
it's just
Gone.
I think it's a trade-off because I think that you get maybe more upside than any other show from an experiential standpoint.
That's
If
true.
you're,
That's what
like-
I'm thinking is like, what does
You're going on a
living in?
safari
And that's
for
almost all my
a
answers
year.
were like, what does this bring me into? Like, what if I get to go to that world? What is my like day-to-day
that's-
life in that world? And I feel like
I think for
could be fun,
I think for some of us, that's where like the banks.
Yeah.
If I want to start my career in entertainment, I'm getting a jump start because they're probably very well connected
Yeah, that's
around
true.
town. So that's
he's
you
a
know,
judge.
He's a judge, yeah.
Method to my madness.
All right, so before we get to our game, what's everybody's final answer?
Finally.
You got to come up with one. That's the whole point.
I'm sticking with the Tanners.
You going with the Tanners?
Yeah, I'm going with Tanners.
I could see it in your eyes from the beginning.
Yeah, I belong there.
I'm sticking with the Banks.
You going with the Banks?
Yeah, that's my family.
Clay?
Clay doesn't know.
Man, I don't really know.
You can go Wild Thornberries if you want.
I know, you're most
honestly, of
passionate
all those,
about that.
Doug feels the most like you were saying, I want to walk around in that world and walk in the house, like when you're saying, and I've like seen every episode. I don't know. I feel like that would be the one that, if I had to choose one, got to go with Doug.
Doug. I was so sure. She's looking at me like, I'm not going to change. I'm going to stick with Boy Meets World just because it's the most entrenched in my inner being. But when you throw out All Grown Up, because Rugrats is really in there too.
Yeah.
And when I had just so dismissed it, but we'd be like, they're probably, what are they in that show? The 12, 13.
Yeah, we're close to
they're
15.
close. And then
Yeah.
Angelica's probably like 15-ish
Yeah.
or something. So like that, getting in that world and like you said, living with Stu. And I feel like by the time All Grown Up comes up, he's like a more successful at being an inventor. Like everything's not like blowing up in his face as much as it is in the baby version. So I'm like, that really. And then I might choose the Banks as well, just because of, like you said, all the perks. But since you're going with that one, I'll stay true and I'll
I was
go.
gonna say we can't make room for two.
Yeah, they already got it'd be three. We'd have a third one. It'd just be a freaking party in the pool house.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I'll go with Boy Meets World. That's it.
Okay,
right,
who's wrong?
Almost.
yeah.
Who's wrong and who's right? Me.
Who's gonna regret their decision?
I think Doug's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm gonna go
It
with
is
Full
stable.
House.
It's a stable. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of these, I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. Doug isn't like, whoa, that family's wild. It's like,
Yeah.
but I think he had
Just the
great
vibes.
parents. They were
Yeah.
good. Yeah, pork chop hanging out.
Got a
with pork
great dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pork chop
Great
is
dog.
chop. And yeah, just the
where it's
neighborhood,
at.
just the whole like, it feels like the peaceful family. Like Roger is literally the worst thing that it happens to that
Do you think
town.
you get along with Doug?
I think he's a little bit of a wuss, but
Yeah, he's kinda
Perfect.
he
square.
does like he does like
Journaling.
rock
'Cause
music. Like he
here's-
goes to the beats and
'cause-
stuff. Like like he likes to go to the rock show.
Here's the
and has
thing.
that whole thing.
In the unreleased episode, that
Skeeter,
maybe
I really connect with Skeeter. I don't
Yeah,
even
Skeeter's
know Skeeter's
probably the guy.
family, but I
Yeah.
feel like I would love
Skeeter's
to just
cool.
hang out with Skeeter. All the
you're
time.
swooping in, you're taking patty mayonnaise.
Yeah, me, Patty, yeah, at the Honkerberg.
I think the only question of the vibes is in the unreleased pilot episode, which may be released at some point. We dug deep into 14-year-old Clay,
Doug. Yes,
Oh.
and so
that's actually
you're like
why I was
going
naked.
to. So you're like in a band, you're going to shows. I feel like your vibe at 15 is
Yeah.
not the Doug vibe. So
No.
do you think that
It
there's
is a little
clash?
more of
I
a
feel like
Roger
40
vibe.
I feel like
Yeah.
40-year-old Clay fits
Yeah.
in better with
Yeah,
Doug
that's
than
probably true.
15-year-old probably would.
Yeah, I feel like that was the thing though. I was still like a straight A student.
Still
I was
innocent
like,
enough,
yeah, like
yeah.
punk, do my homework, and then I'm gonna be punk. Like, so I
You were
feel like,
part-time
yeah. I mean, it was like, yeah, it was as punk as I could be while still doing good in school, which I feel like was kind of Doug or whatever. I wasn't actually bad. I wasn't getting arrested. I wasn't actually being like sent to the principal or anything. I just liked
You like the idea
bad
of the
stuff.
kind of
That was,
yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I loved like Shredder in the Ninja Turtle. I just loved like the villains of everything. I just loved like bad stuff. So then
maybe you're going to be a Roger guy. Maybe you and Roger are gonna
exactly.
be
I remember thinking
hanging
Roger
out.
was badass. I remember that was the thing. I think all the like bad guy characters. Like I love Darkwing Duck because he was like the dark superhero, but he was like kind of evil. I liked Batman because like
Sure.
especially the
Yeah.
animated series because he was like,
all the
I'm a
vibe.
superhero, but I'm not a fucking pussy. So, it just had. I
So
like.
you're going to choose Batman and Robin as your
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, wait.
Adam West. Adam West Batman's basically a sitcom.
Yeah. Wait. So you're telling me that who's the butler? The Butler and Bruce isn't a family unit?
Alfred.
Alfred and Bruce. I
And
can't just come in
Robin.
as the
Yeah.
15-year-old.
And Robin.
Yeah.
There's a kid there.
Yeah, that's a
And then
family.
talk about money. Talk about connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You made me think. I'm talking about people with money that I wouldn't choose, but just one that I have to throw out as an honorable mention is Mr. Drummond and Different Strokes, living with Willis and Arnold. I think they got a pretty sweet setup there.
Yeah, that's a good mention.
So, those are the final answers. And now, there's been some. Let's just say it. There's been some beef stewing. Because of Clay. So Clay.
Instigator.
So
But I have
part of
nothing to
this
do with it.
cast. So part of this cast for this episode is because Clay has commented very regularly, like that Katie and I make all the same references from Full House and from Boy Meets World in that era of shows constantly, and then just decided to throw a grenade and say that I said that I knew more about Full House than you, to which you said, I
No
will
way.
fucking kill you.
Yeah, she's still even just the hypothetical idea that you might, because then
Because
I went
there's
back
no
and said,
way.
I went back and said, I don't think he said it. He's that's damn right he didn't say it. Like she's
impossible.
like she can't just be like, oh okay. It's like yeah. See,
So here's
you
the
hear
thing.
her
There's
over here. She's
nobody, but now
literally-
that I'm talking to Mad Game,
I know,
we'll
yeah,
see.
nice.
Just put it out
Oh,
on the internet.
We about to find out. So
I'm excited.
there you go. Producer Emily has come up with a Full House trivia game.
Yes.
You have
I'm scared.
pretty good Full House knowledge, but I don't think you.
I have
On the same
seen
level.
all of Full House, but
So you had enough judgment to try to pick some hard
I
questions.
struggled to be like, is this hard enough?
Okay.
Or is this not hard enough? So we're going to find out
We're gonna
together.
find
Okay,
out.
so I think we're gonna do. Is the best structure just you just say the question and just whoever calls it
yeah.
out first?
Yeah.
Colin, you can get in on the. I don't know what your
Yeah,
Full House
Clay can
knowledge
get
is.
It's zilch.
Okay.
But
Oh, yeah.
I've seen like of shows again. It was like a rerun show. I've probably seen a bunch
I've
of
seen
them, but it
some.
was like
Yeah.
never in order. I never couldn't like tell you what storylines.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever
happening.
watched it in order. I've just
Yeah.
watched
Neither have
reruns.
I.
yeah, Nick and Night.
Yeah, because it was on in syndication by the
Right.
time. Yeah.
You two can help me judge, see who actually gets
who
it
gets it first.
I'm
Okay.
scared.
fastest.
Yeah, you guys are just gonna yell the same word
Yeah.
at the same time.
No,
the
I might
whole
not.
quiz.
I'm going into this believing full well that I'm going to get demolished, but
Oh.
just based on your bluster. But maybe you're full of it. I don't
Maybe
know.
I am.
She's
We'll
never-
see.
All right. Number 1. What was Danny Tanner's wife's name?
Fucking hell.
Oh shit, we're getting really.
This
is going to be an easy one.
No, this is
I
like
don't think they talk about it after like season.
they really don't.
Episode 1.
I'm gonna just guess a woman's name.
Okay.
Carol.
Incorrect.
Hold on.
No. Okay.
Stacy.
Nope.
Lydia.
Nope.
Colin, you want to say a name?
Amber.
Nope.
Oh God.
is it?
You want to guess
Should we get
again?
a hint?
Anybody?
Yeah.
Did
Okay,
you
wait.
do the? Did you don't have multiple
What
choice?
the hell
do
was
you?
her name? Because she was
Michelle.
related. So it's Uncle Jesse's sister, not to show off that I do know that.
Obviously,
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Uncle Jesse. Okay, that's
Obviously.
that's why he's Uncle Jesse. I guess they call him Uncle Joey too. But he's not really an uncle. But
Okay, wait, but because Jesse says it. Jesse says it when he's remembering his sister. I remember
He has
seeing
that
times
one
of
song
Jesse.
that's called
No, that's about Becky.
Veronica.
What the heck?
I don't know it.
I don't know.
Would you like a multiple choice?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So for this, we'll just let her do all the choices, and then we'll both like say one at the same time.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
A. Anne. B. Sarah. C. Pam. D. Susan.
Okay, we saying it on the count of 3?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
C,
Pam.
Pam.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Pam.
it's Pam. Once you
It's-
said it,
it's
you said the
Pam,
first two, and I was like, I'm not going to even recognize it when she says it.
no.
And then when you said Pam, I was like, oh,
Pam,
that is
yes.
it. I never would have pulled that out of my
Fuck,
brain.
neither would I. But yes, it is Pam.
Off to a great start.
Yeah, all the
Is
Full
that,
House.
is that the easiest one or the
Yeah, the
hardest
Full
one?
House stands.
That has to be
I've
the
already
hardest.
stopped watching.
Yeah.
so we're good.
Whatever.
All right. 2. What did DJ's mom, Pam, give her the day they brought Michelle home from the hospital?
Oh, the teddy bear, the one teddy bear that, or is that Stephanie's bear?
That's
That's
Stephanie.
Stephanie's bear.
Stephanie has
Okay,
Mr.
wait.
Bear.
You
They
can't
gave
just talk your way through
the
the
window.
answer.
The window stuffed animal. No. That was fuck.
I almost asked Stephanie, but I thought the bear was too obvious.
Damn.
Is it revealed? It must
I
be
may
revealed in
have
the
made
same
this
episode.
too difficult.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
My problem is like my Full House knowledge is like it comes up in real life and reminds me, and like so I can apply it to a lot of random situations. But every single like recalling specific details is tough.
We can move along.
A scrunchie.
I'm
No,
gonna
what the
say. I'm just trying to think. Is it a book of some kind? I don't know.
I feel like it's a piece of
A locket?
jewelry.
Is it a locket?
No.
It's not earrings.
All right. Well, our guesses are done.
It's a bracelet. It's a bracelet.
A charm bracelet.
For me, all right.
Oh yeah, Clay gets a
Clay gets a point.
point. Clay's on
Say
the board.
paperweight.
All right. Number 3. What is?
Do you think we need multiple choice for the rest of these?
We might.
Are they
Let's
all
see.
this obscure?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
How many questions are there?
There are
35.
7.
7. Okay.
What is Uncle Jesse's last name in the first season?
Ooh, so it's not Katsopoulos?
They
Jesse?
changed it. I just saw an Instagram video where they referenced that John Stamos made an impassioned plea to get them to change the name because he thought that Greek people weren't represented enough on TV. But his
King. So it's going to be a generic name or like a generic European name if it's not.
Stevens.
Yeah, I'm like, what, Davis? Jesse.
It's a good battle, you guys.
Yeah. You guys are
Really?
tough questions.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can give us the multiple choice.
Okay, and then we're going to answer it how we did
Yeah, we'll
the
do it.
last
We'll
one.
do it.
I gotta
Okay.
think of some good ones.
Yeah.
Some good options.
Yeah.
Donaldson? No.
No, that's
No.
Becky's last name.
Oh, yes.
I
Dude,
have no idea.
the scene in my head
I can't.
because in the
think-
first episode he introduces
The name
Jesse and Joey together.
James.
Bach.
I can't even remember
What
the
are you-
pilot if I'm being
You're
real.
really
Okay.
you just
Your
writing down
options
names.
are Anderson, Miller, Cochran, White.
I'm going to say, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Great.
Cochran.
Ed's Cochran.
Yes.
Damn it.
What the fuck? I don't remember that. I just feel like Cochran because like rocker, like
I
Joe
would-
Yeah.
Cochran or whatever.
Too hard, apparently. Okay.
That I should have pulled that out because I did just
know.
Cochran.
This
Hear a
is
thing
another
about
one
that,
that I don't know if this one was
I hope I know this.
in
love
the
that you're
show
just
as a
stumping
plot
them.
point.
I know.
Okay,
No,
this
if
is
you
where
said,
this is what
should
I'm
I
talking
pull out
about.
7 questions and stump both of these guys? I would have said, fuck yeah.
What is Uncle Jesse's real first name? This happens in the show.
Oh yes, I feel like I remember this episode.
DJ finds out what his real first name is.
It's something dorky. It's not Melvin.
It's when they're about to have twins, and he is stuck
Yeah.
on picking names for them.
Cochran.
Cochran.
Cochran was really bad.
Because it's like his
It's embarrassing.
it's his grandfather's name, and he goes it's a proud family. He blows up when they're
Is it-
making fun of him about it.
Shit.
Would
But
you
then,
like
but then he's
multiple
like,
choice options?
but then he's like, oh, I definitely wouldn't actually have gone by it.
Okay.
Multiple
give us some
choice.
options.
Your options are Hermes, Zeus, Ares, Apollo.
Yeah, it's Hermes.
It's a Hermes. Yeah, it's a. Dang.
All right, next. We're
I knew
killing
it
it.
was Greek. I didn't want to say. I didn't want to give a hint out loud, but I knew it was something very Greek.
Hermes.
All right. Who stars as Denise's uncle in season 7? Who guest stars? Do we know who Denise is?
Denise is Danny's girlfriend?
Yeah.
No. Michelle's friend.
Oh my
Michelle's
god.
little
Oh,
friend.
I know. It's
Little Richard.
Yes.
Let's
Oh,
go.
damn it.
I saw Michael was first.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was. I meant that.
Okay, we've
Man.
got 2 more.
What was his? What's his girlfriend's name?
Oh yeah, it's the one Vicky.
Vicky. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing when she
Yeah.
said Denise.
Okay. This is very specific.
Oh god.
And this I thought was going to be the hardest one.
Oh boy.
Oh god. I'm
But you might know
sweaty.
this. It's a plot point. Okay.
Okay.
In season 4, Jesse and Joey are pitching a commercial, but have to have their meeting at the house because Stephanie is homesick. Can you tell me what kind of product they are advertising?
Is it dog food or cat food?
No.
Shit.
And bonus points if you can tell me what the product name was. But what kind of
And
product
she's
are they?
sick.
I remember they're in the basement and
Yeah.
they're trying to come up with
The
pitches.
jingle.
Isn't it like Windex or some kind of
No.
glass cleaner?
No.
It's a good guess, though.
Better than dog food. That's all.
No, they did. There was an
did do a
episode.
dog
There was an
food.
episode where they sold.
Let me think.
Oh, see, I was
No.
going to say something,
No,
but
I
now I
don't
think I'm
remember that.
confusing it with the dog food.
I know. I feel like that's like the one that I think of. Wait, when she's sick.
I was going to say baby food.
Would you like me to explain more about the episode?
Yeah.
Is it a baby product?
No. So
I don't
the people they're pitching to come over, and one of them is a woman, and she has a crush on Jesse. So she gets him to star in the commercial for this product.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know.
shampoo? Is it? It's a bathroom product.
Body wash,
So
Hair gel.
hair gel.
because he's like he's coming out of the shower and she keeps making him wear a smaller and smaller
That's
towel.
correct.
Oh my god.
Fuck, what? I don't know what the product
Wait,
was.
hold on,
though.
hold on. Let's think. Even though now I'm just totally piggybacking.
Is it like a toiletry?
Yes.
Deodorant?
Close.
Spray like cologne or like
Yeah.
body spray? I don't know if
Damn,
that
that counts.
And
really
it
had
was
to narrow it
called
down.
IQ Cologne.
Oh yeah.
God, I don't
Okay,
remember that.
I remember the scene, but
You guys will get this one.
Okay.
What costume is Uncle Jesse wearing when Aunt Becky goes into labor?
Oh.
Elvis.
No.
Oh, that's a good
I thought for
guess.
sure you'd get this one. I knew this one.
What
Oh
costume?
my god, what costume is he wearing?
I feel like he's always wearing an Elvis costume.
He's not a ranger. That's Joey.
It's like a Halloween costume.
Oh.
If it helps, we have referenced this character tonight.
All grown up.
Yeah,
Tommy
wait.
Pickles.
Wait, what? Who could it be? Not Little Richard. Who could he be dressed up as?
Is it Fred Flintstone?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Michael just destroyed the
yeah, the
me.
exact opposite.
I was trying to
Michael
back up from like,
demolished.
what have we talked about tonight? And, like, what would be a Halloween? Because I'm like,
That's so good.
Cheers doesn't have any Halloween. I'm like, what do we
Norm.
talk about? And
Coach.
then now I can picture because he's got like the clothes,
Yes.
he's got the thing. Yeah.
I tried to make it really hard. I think I went too hard.
That was really good, though. I like
that.
the challenge.
I'm so
Oh, the
glad
last
that you
question?
just humbled the hell out of it.
What is the Tanner's address?
Oh God, hell
And their
no.
address
I found
In
this
real-
on BuzzFeed.
in real life?
No,
or
like I
Dolores
assume in the show. I don't
Park?
know.
oh, I don't know.
What's that street?
You want multiple choice?
Yes,
You
multiple
can
choice,
guess.
multiple
Yeah.
choice.
All right. This is going to be a lot of numbers and words. 1889 Girard Avenue. 1882 Girard Street. 1888 Girard Avenue. 1887 Girard Way.
I was like, surely it's not Gerard.
So just pick a letter.
Yeah.
You got Avenue, Street, Avenue,
I think it's
or
A.
Way.
I think it's
For
B.
no
I think it's
reason.
B. I think it's street.
You are
Oh,
correct.
Michael's the dominating champion.
Wow.
Nicely
well,
done.
I'm so glad you did it.
I will still say that I know a lot about Full House,
I'm sure
despite
you
what.
clearly neither of us know anything.
I'm not
Prove that
backing
you know a
down.
lot about Full House.
I feel like
really
in our-
specific.
I know.
Yeah, that's what.
That
That's
was
the
good
thing
though.
is-
They were good, and I feel like the Little Richard one. I'm so surprised that did not come to me faster because
And the
once
friends,
you-
those all sounded like if I was reading a friggin' Full House trivia box, those would be questions.
that's
Yeah,
when I would
that's
just be
really
like
deep.
Yeah.
humbled again. That's why when I go
There
to
were some
trivia,
deep cuts.
I'm humbled every time.
I did see a question that said, "What time was DJ born?" And I was like,
Jesus.
"Who knows that?
Who knows that?
What is
I
3 or
also
5
haven't
p.m.
watched Full House
Same.
in 10 years.
Oh,
Probably.
same.
At least
Easy.
not in any kind of volume. If you did Boy Meets World trivia, I'd be all over.
If
it.
you
I
ask
feel
me
like
every Mary
Simpsons,
Kate and
if you were
Ashley
telling me
Olsen
Simpsons trivia,
question,
Yeah.
But-
Simpsons trivia.
Yeah, Simpsons, I got it.
I would think that, but now I'll never say with such confidence again.
If we had-
Gilmore Girls
yeah.
because it's fresh of mind.
If we had
Ask
done
me a
this
Gilmore Girls
when
question.
I was 15 in that time,
Yeah.
I would have been all over these probably.
Wait, take me
because-
back to the question. Gilmore Girls. That's the family I want to live with.
Is it? They seem kind of sad.
I love them.
Which one do you live with? You were with the
Lorelai.
grandparents. You just living with single ass Lorelai? Or no? Do you
And
get to
Rory.
marry? Spoiler alert! Turn it off if you haven't seen Gilmore Girls. But are you gonna live with Luke and Lorelai
No, I'm gonna live with Lorelai and Rory.
just as a single mom in it?
Absolutely.
Are you going
She
to
gets a lot
freaking
of-
Chilford or whatever
You
the
guys
hell
get-
that school is?
You get
Chilton?
a, yeah, you
Chilton,
get a
I
lot of
was-
leeway in that house. There's
Yeah, that'd
not a
be
lot of-
awesome.
Yeah, you and Rory are just running around.
I feel like I'm
Are
used to
you
that. That's
hanging
how I
out
was
at the
raised.
hotel?
No.
You don't work at the hotel?
The Dragonfly.
Yeah.
I would do some
There's
time
a
at the
hotel?
Dragonfly.
Wait, Rory. Well, because she's the manager. Lorelai's the manager of the hotel. That's where the French guy, the boy, and
I know
and that's
some.
where
I know
Sookie,
some.
Sookie is she's a chef at the
Oh,
place.
right.
That's
Okay.
like, yeah.
That's I know some Gilmore Girls, but
God,
not
I love
Because
it.
Katie just
Not
watched the
extensively,
entire
yeah.
thing, and
Yeah, that's why I could
sat
be-
in the room adjacent.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I obviously picked up on. Yeah, are you going to Chilton, and are you
No.
friends with? So you're just hanging out in the house and not going to school? 15-year-old?
No, I'd go to school, but I wouldn't
You
go
going
to
to public
Chilton.
school?
Yeah, I would be the underachieving guest.
Wow.
Yeah, they can't afford to send another kid. To,
No, yeah,
But that seems like
the
why you're
grandparents are
there.
already
That's
doing
like
it.
they're like, oh, an exchange student's coming to town,
I would be their maid
and you'd have a 15-year-old child labor maid.
because that's how
Why?
Lorelai started as a maid at
child
the
labor maid. That's
Dragonfly.
true.
She
That's very
did.
true.
So she would give me that, but I wouldn't have a baby to justify it. I would just be
You're like turning
hanging.
into Cinderella. Like they're just
Yeah.
making you clean up after them.
I would do
as
it.
an exchange
Willingly.
student. It's a horrible situation.
I like that.
You like set up you like added extra layers of bad onto for no reason.
Yeah.
Like nope.
I just want to find my place. I want to earn my keep.
Wait, can I not wear shoes? Is that
Is that allowed?
I'd like to wear scraps only, please.
I want to live in Stars Hollow.
And that's an acceptable
Yeah.
reason to like live in that world for sure. But
Even if I
I'm
have
glad
to
you
be
got that
made.
out, because if we were driving home and you screamed Gilmore Girls, I would
Gilmore
add them.
Girls.
Yeah.
I would. I'd
Does
never
anybody
forgive
else have
myself.
Any other ones? Just honorable mentions.
Don Draper.
No, Mad Men's not a sitcom.
I was gonna say if we can go outside of sitcom,
Yeah, where? What?
Hey, okay.
Succession.
Oh hell no.
I'd be a Roy.
no,
I'd make it.
I would
Wait,
win. I would
are you
succeed.
living with
Oh yeah,
Logan,
who went
or are you
family?
living with?
Connor and his wife.
No, you gotta have
I'd-
kids. It's got to be a family unit.
I'd want a challenge, so it'd be Logan.
You're
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah, I'd take him on.
and you're gonna live at the age like when they're also kids.
Oh, that's
Like you're gonna be like a similar age as.
yeah. I think that
in
I
the
would.
home footage that's
Kendall?
on the beginning.
Yeah,
I think that would be a prime time for me to like
Oh, that's before
set
the
myself
fucked
aside
upness
as like the
happens.
favorite,
Yeah.
you know, and where Logan will be like, you know what?
Yeah, but he's gonna just. You talk about ending up fucked up after a year. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
A
but if I
normal
wonder if
person
you're an
coming into that
exchange
house would
student,
just
he
get
doesn't-
shredded.
But yeah, you're an exchange student, so they're not like treating you like a kid. You don't have the same.
No, I think they're going to treat
expectation.
you 100 times worse.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
the
I just think
outsider.
you're not
You're
going to see them.
You're like
You'll-
the poor interloper.
Yeah, and you'll live there for a whole year and get to do whatever you want, but you'll never see any of them.
Tom is
You'll, like, live
married
on
to
an
one of them,
island.
and they treat him like absolute shit.
Yeah.
And he
Greg
won
is
in the
their
game.
cousin, and they treat him like shit.
Yeah,
for
that's
being
what I'm
poor.
imagining,
If
is
you're
you're
just
just basically
if you're just like
dragging
a
it. You're
random
dragging
dude who
it.
shows up, like if you're
Any of us in the room are gonna feel like Greg, basically. We're gonna be like,
but it's
"Right,
gonna
guys?"
be worse than Greg because Greg's at least their cousin.
That's true.
Well,
Spoiler alert! Hey, if you
Yeah.
have some
Yeah.
suggestions,
Yeah.
we don't know.
did
We
he
don't
make
know.
it
The
though,
end of
or
season what? We
is his
don't know
life
what he's-
horrible still?
I mean,
He
all of
made
theirs are.
something of it, at least.
That's true.
Yeah.
He can be a pain
crazy.
sponge. That's what you want to be. You want to be a pain sponge
pain
for the rest of your life.
sponge.
I could, stifle it down.
That's what it takes.
for a year or two.
That's what they say. I'll just opt into trauma and then suppress it.
Yeah.
And live the rest of my healthy life.
What about Happy Days? Nobody wants to hang
Yes.
out with the Fonz?
I did think of Happy Days when I forgot what somebody said, but it did remind me of.
I see. Happy Days is interesting. Do you think that's enough of like an interesting experience?
No,
You
but
get
they've
Joni.
got great outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get Joni and Chachi.
Yeah. Joni loves Chachi.
Joni loves I want to be in Joni Loves Chachi. The spin-off.
That's one of my favorite lines from Dodgeball.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't pick it because it's another kind of sad, stern family a lot of the time. But Wonder Years is great
I
show.
love Wonder Years.
Now we're just naming shows, but
Yeah. It's
But that
quality.
could be
Yeah.
good.
What about?
I'm trying to think of all my 1960s shows that I love, but a lot of them aren't families. Like I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh,
Yeah,
could
the
I live
family
with
sitcom
Waka
was
and
Yeah.
Taxi?
No.
Oh,
That's why, yeah, there's like a lot of those good like workplace ones. I'm trying to think of other
Christopher
families.
Lloyd
I know.
didn't have kids. Somewhere he has kids.
I've never
Yeah,
seen an episode
illegitimate.
Of Taxi.
Oh, Taxi's so
cut
good.
the camera. We're watching
We need
Taxi.
to do best theme songs.
Ooh, yeah.
Best sitcom theme songs. I have a lot of passionate
podcast
opinions.
is basically over, I can tell you that Katie's had plans to hijack this podcast and turn it into let's sing the theme song of every.
I have a microphone.
single-
I love it. We can do.
Pick your number one and just belt it out right now. You'll close out the show.
Oh my God, that's so good. Now I have to think of which one I want to do.
We're gonna be here for an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Is it?
I'll
not
just
full?
do this one, but
3 hours later.
you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. Okay, skip. When the world doesn't seem to be living up to your dreams, and suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you. All about you.